My bus even comes with bling. Look at that.
Shoe.
Where do I start?
I don't know.
All right, this is my mini school bus, 11 feet by 7.5. This is what I will be living in, downsizing from 760 square foot, well, a 14 by 56 house to a 7.5 foot by 11 foot house on wheels that doesn't go good in snow.
That's okay.
But that's fine, even with ice pack.
Do you have any ideas for how you're gonna build this out yet?
Well, my initial thought is to have a bed that goes across the back, either twin or something a little bit larger, because I might be able to sacrifice a little bit of living space for having storage for things I'm not going to be using a lot, like the battery pack for the solar panels.
Right.
I might decide to put the water tank back there instead of under the kitchen area. I won't know until I start putting things in, but you and I had some good ideas about when I put the bed up here. This I got quite a bit. It may seem not like my 10 inches. That's a lot of storage space
Above the bed.
clothes I don't use. But first things first, I gotta get the chairs out, the seats. So
yes, this brings back memories when I took the seats out of my bus.
now you do have one slightly easier task than I did.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna say offhand, like a million rivets.
There was 1,100 screws on the ceiling of the bus.
That running anyway. So, all right. So the first thing I'm going to do. All right. So step one, I don't have a bus name yet, but I do have a little story behind that. I was going down the road. I was listening to one of my favorite '80s bands. I thought, I could use that, but then it didn't quite work out right because I would be in a bus going down the road, and the name of the band is Cheap Tricks.
Yeah, you may not want to leave that on the side of the bus. Although you might get a lot of people coming up and say hi to you.
Yeah, I could get all kinds of people.
That might be how you make your money to live on the road. Cheap Tricks. And show however you want to do it, but it's so much easier than trying to record the whole process because it's just,
right.
It just takes so much time.
All right, so I'm going to explain what I'm going to do, and then I will lift it. After the seat is up, I'll show you what I had to do to get the seat. But basically, there's 2 latches underneath. They have to be turned. There's Phillips screws, so I might have to loosen a couple. So I'm going to do this one first, and then show what it looks like after the fact. All right, let's bring this up to the camera. All right, see if this is a good enough view. Maybe my assistant will hold this up for me.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, let me make sure it's... All right, that's good right there. All right, so there's 2 latches, and each are set like this, and there's a bar that goes across. So these just have to be turned, and then I pull the seat out. So that's what I'm going to do on each seat. I'm going to stack the seats over here. So basically, this latches and the seat just pulls out. And we're going to see how easy that is for each one. I hope you didn't cut that seat. I was going to save that one.
Too late.
Alright, since it is winter time, right now actually the temperature in here is not too bad.
No, it's cool, but probably about 30 degrees in here.
I'm going to put my remote thermometer out here, sensor, and I'll be able to see in the house what it's going to be.
Yep.
I'll do that later. But I'm using this because this does not require a fan. It's radiant heat, so we're just like the sun. Quartz heaters, you aim it at you. That's the best way to use it.
Where's the bottom button? Oh, it's like a tip over button.
Yeah.
Huh.
And there's a tip, so it does tip over, and that it'll shut off. And it has 2 settings, 1 and 2, literally 1 or 2. I've used it occasionally in the house, and it works pretty good for like quick heat.
That's it.
So now, here's what I say for anybody watching this part of the video that I happen to keep in. Never plug it into an extension cord.
Which you just did.
Yeah. Never plug it into an extension cord, which I'm not doing. You didn't see me do that. I am not saying do it at all. I will say right now, follow the manufacturer's guidelines.
And this is not an educational video.
No, this is not educational. I'm not licensed.
And entertainment only. Right.
You know. All right, so I need to tap out this one, I think, and this one. All right, what are you doing underneath here?
Oh, hi. Welcome to Finding Mark in Maine. I'm helping take seat bases out. So what's happening is these little things have to twist here. I don't know if you can see them. But some of them are on so tight they won't twist. So we just use the hammer and pound it out. But after that, you just lift the seat up and it slides back a little bit and comes right off.
All right, so I'm going to show you what I did on this back seat. I'm stepping right over you.
Now the guy that owned this said it was a party bus. At the end, he used it as a party bus.
Yes.
There's a little bit of evidence.
Oh, what is that?
That's a beer.
Seagram's. Oh, I like Seagram's.
Yeah,
that's the only alcoholic
yes, look,
beverage
yeah.
I can drink.
There you go.
All right, so this back seat where the heater is, this one was a little different. Instead of having the latches underneath, this one had these 2 hooks, and it was just a screw in the front. Oh, but you know what? On the back, it did have latches that weren't even hooked.
I just don't know why these.
Is that more evidence at your head there that this was a party bus?
Yep. Yeah, and then this looks like some sort of meat platter tray.
That is actually for mice.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, because they stick to it. It's not my favorite trap of choice.
Well, you didn't put it in.
Yeah. So what do you go? There's the latches that I showed you a minute ago. A couple of these are so tight, which is probably a good thing because the kids are sitting in the seat. My brother is tapping those out so the seat will come loose.
Well, I'm trying.
All right, so we've got more seats out. I'm just going to toss them out the window. All right, each of the seats, there were 2 latches that I showed you earlier. A couple we had to use a hammer because they were just, too tight to move by hand. So I have removed all of the seats. That was the easy part. Now the next part, and I'll move in closer here, is down on the side. There are 2 bolts on the side holding each seat in place. And I know you really can't see the other one that well in back. So this is going to be kind of the next easier part, removing those. So I'm going to do one of these so you can see that, and then I'll probably stop the camera after that because it's probably going to be a little bit boring. Let me get that focused. And I'll stop the camera after that because I'm sure it's going to be a little bit boring. It's a little bit better view to watch me remove all the bolts. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 seats plus this half seat in the back. All right, so I guess this is where it would probably be handy to have a GoPro camera because I'm trying to do this one-handed. And the other bolt is right there, so I'm probably going to have to use an extension tool to get that one. But there's 2 on each. And is that really turning or? Yeah, so I guess I'm going to have to use 2 hands at this point. Yeah. And I'm going to have to hold, there is a, of course, the bolt underneath right here. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to put the camera down because I'm going to keep that from turning while I'm undoing these up top. Alright, so let's do a quick update. Let me get all the seats that I talked about. Well, they actually have 3 bolts in each, so that was like 30 bolts I had to take out from the side. But this front seat, I think to get the last bolt, which is down in behind here, there's no way for me to get in it. I'm thinking that I'm going to have to undo all these screws and take this off to get to that last bolt, and I'm hoping that's what's holding the seat in. So I'm going to try taking all this off and see what happens. Alright folks, this is a little update addition to this video, show you where I'm at. These are the seats I talked about earlier that I thought only had 2 bolts in each that I showed you. They actually had 3. Now this one and this one over there have 1 bolt. Trying to figure out how to get to that one. I think I can remove that bucket right there, but this one right here, see if I can hold the camera and the light. I was able to remove these screws to at least get to that bolt right down in there. Now down inside here, there's all of those screws, which are, they look kind of rusted. So I might actually have to wait and pry them up, grind them off. But the first step will be getting the last bolt out on this seat. And where it's wintertime, to be honest, I might start working on the ceiling instead before I crawl underneath the bus. All of these rivets on the top I'll have to drill out. I plan on doing that. But all these screws on the side, except that one. Actually, I think that takes a special, what I might have, I can't remember what they call it. But I'm going to take all these little screws out, all this little stuff that I can do. It may not be much, but it'll certainly be progress. And those go all along the side. I figure every little bit helps. As you can see, there are 3 bolts in there, not 2, as I thought. They were pretty easy to take out, none were rusted. The only one I had difficulty with was this front seat, because this panel was blocking the line. Let's see if I can get a view there. But I had to remove this panel to get to that last one. Well, the next thing I did, just to get at least a little something done, was to remove these panels. There was 1 odd screw on this side I had the right tool for. On this side, it was all Phillips. However, this one right here, I broke 2 bits. They were actually cheap bits. I have, honestly, I couldn't even tell you what this was originally for. I was trying to find vice grips. I didn't have them. However, I'm using this, so what I'm having to do literally is turn this screw a little bit at a time. And let's see if we can get you a better angle. It is turning if I do it right. And actually this is about all to come out, so I got to shut the camera off while I do this last part, and then that'll remove the panel. Alright, so this is the last thing I'm going to do for the night. This is that screw that was in there so tight that I broke 2 cheap bits. This is the tool I showed you close up. Actually, okay, yeah, actually. And there we go. Whoa! Alright, there. That is out.